There are few meals that remind me of home as quickly as jollof rice. If you're African, you have probably heard at least one argument about which African country makes the best jollof rice. Today, I'm sharing how I make my Nigerian smoky party jollof from scratch at home. This recipe was passed down to me from my mother while growing up. Growing up, there was one day of the week I always looked forward to. Can you guess? It was Wednesday because it was jollof rice day. You see, Tuesdays were usually for beans. And as a child, I absolutely hated it. I still do. So every Tuesday, I would count down because I already knew what was waiting for me the next day. A big pot of jollof rice, and somehow, no matter how many times we ate it, it always felt special. A recipe filled with flavor, memories, and a little bit of patience. Like every great pot of jollof rice, we start with the stew base. For this recipe, I'm using paprika, celery, onions, shallots, ginger, garlic, tomatoes, and green pepper. After washing and chopping the vegetables, I roast them in the oven. One thing I love about roasting vegetables first is that it brings out their natural sweetness and adds depth to the final dish. Once roasted, everything was blended until smooth. Now, it's time to build the stew. In a pot, this is the pot, I use this pot to cook the meat initially. I added vegetable oil, onions, shallots, and a little butter. Then comes the tomato paste. And this is one step I never rush. Growing up, nobody explained why some jollof rice tasted richer than others and some tasted sour. But over time, I learned that frying the tomato paste makes a huge difference. It removes that raw, tangy taste and creates a much deeper flavor. Once the tomato paste is ready, the roasted vegetable blend goes in. And at this point, the kitchen starts smelling amazing. Make sure you stir continuously so your stew base does not get burnt. Honestly, if you grew up in a Nigerian home, you probably know exactly the kind of smell I'm talking about. The kind of smell that makes everyone start asking, when will the food be ready? While the stew base fries, let's talk. Did your family also have a meal timetable growing up? Maybe Mondays were for one meal and Fridays were for another. Tell me in the comments. If you are new here, welcome to Castles Foods. At Castles Foods, we are teaching kids African culture and identity through food. We are helping raise the next generation who know, love, and connect with our food and traditions. So if that sounds like something you want to be part of, don't forget to like this video. It tells YouTube that our video is valuable, and also subscribe and turn on your notifications so you don't miss our next video. If you know someone who would love to learn how to make amazing African meals, share this video with them so they don't miss out. Now let's get back to our rice. I usually like to toast my rice, and after that I add the stew base and a little bit extra seasoning and meat stock. Be careful with the seasoning because remember, your meat stock and stew base was seasoned. One important thing to remember is that jollof rice doesn't need too much liquid. What it needs is steam. Too much liquid can leave you with soft, soggy, overcooked rice instead of proper jollof rice. Once everything is combined, cover tightly and allow it to cook gently. As the rice cooks, it slowly absorbs all those beautiful flavors from the stew and stock. This is where the magic happens. Good jollof rice takes patience. You simply cannot rush it. I covered it with foil. Once the rice was almost cooked, I added fresh tomatoes, onions, and some butter, which I added off camera. This gives the rice freshness, texture, and another layer of flavor. It reintroduces some of that moisture that was lost in the cooking, so you do not end up with dry jollof rice. No one likes that. Then comes one of my favorite parts, the smoky finish. A little extra heat at the end creates that signature smoky flavor that many people love in Nigerian smoky party jollof rice. A little controlled burning isn't a mistake, it's part of the process. And just like that, our jollof rice is ready. Beautifully colored, rich in flavor, filled with memories, because for me, jollof rice has never just been food. It meant family gatherings, celebrations. It brought back childhood memories, its culture. And no matter where we are in the world, that is something worth preserving. If you have watched it to this point, we appreciate you. Thank you so much for spending time with us today. Let us know in the comments where you are watching from and what your favorite thing to eat with jollof rice is. Until next time, meals fit for royals. Bye.